49 cents. That's what one serving costs. One fruit available at any grocery store in America, and a published clinical trial showed it improved insulin sensitivity in just 6 weeks. The fruit is the blueberry. But before you click away thinking you already know about blueberries, you don't. Because most people eat them the wrong way at the wrong time and cancel out 70% of the benefit without realizing it. And here's the part that should bother you. There are 7 fruits sitting in your kitchen right now. 3 of them are helping your blood sugar. 4 of them are destroying it. And nobody, not your doctor, not the label on the bag, is telling you which is which. I'm going to rank all 7 today, worst to best. Number 7 is the one most seniors eat every summer thinking it's harmless. Number 1 is why a woman named Doris saw her A1C drop from 8.4 to 6.1 in 90 days. Her endocrinologist asked her what she changed. She said 1 fruit. He wrote it down. M. Your name is Dr. John Myers. And today I'm going to show you exactly what Doris did, why it worked, and which fruits you need to stop eating immediately. Before I rank a single fruit, 2 quick things, and they matter more than you think. If you're over 60 and keeping an eye on your blood sugar, subscribe. This channel exists to give you the explanation a 12-minute office visit never has time for. Then leave 1 word in the comments, the fruit you eat most days of the week. I read them and they tell me what to cover next. That's it. Now let's get into it. So let me explain why fruit is so confusing for anyone managing blood sugar. Because fruit is not one thing. It's not like salt where more is worse and less is better. Fruit is actually, think of it like a medicine cabinet. Some bottles in that cabinet heal you, some bottles make you sicker, and a few of them, they look identical on the outside, but the contents are completely different. Here's what happens inside your body when you eat fruit. The sugar in fruit is mostly fructose. Now, fructose doesn't go straight into your bloodstream like glucose does. It takes a detour. It goes to your liver first. Your liver has to process it, and in small amounts with fiber intact, your liver handles it fine. Blood sugar stays stable, no spike, no crash. But, and this is the part nobody explains, when you eat fruit without the fiber, when you juice it, blend it, or eat a fruit that's naturally low in fiber and high in sugar, that fructose floods the liver. The liver panics. It converts that fructose directly into fat. And worse, it triggers something called hepatic insulin resistance. Your liver starts ignoring insulin, and once the liver stops responding to insulin, your fasting blood sugar goes up, even while you sleep, even when you haven't eaten in 12 hours. That's why some fruits help and some fruits hurt. So, let's rank them. All 7, worst to best. As I go, keep a running tally of which ones are already in your kitchen, because by the end of this, you're going to want to walk in there and move a few things around. Number 7, watermelon. This is the one I warned you about in the first 30 seconds. The one most seniors reach for all summer, thinking it's the safe choice because it's mostly water. And it is mostly water, around 92%. That is exactly the trap. Watermelon has a glycemic index of about 76. In plain terms, that is higher than a spoonful of straight table sugar. And there is almost no fiber in it to slow anything down. So, that big cool slice on a July afternoon hits your bloodstream nearly as fast as a can of soda. The water fools you into thinking nothing happened. Your pancreas knows otherwise. Watermelon is a treat, a few small cubes alongside a handful of nuts. It is not a bowl you sit with on the porch. That bowl is a spike, and you will feel it as a slump an hour later. Number 6, pineapple. Pineapple has a reputation as a health food, mostly because of bromelain. That is the enzyme people take for digestion and swelling. Here is the problem. Bromelain does nothing for your blood sugar, and pineapple carries a glycemic index around 66, with a heavy load of fast sugar and very little fiber to buffer it. Canned pineapple in syrup is worse. Pineapple juice is worse still, because now you have stripped the fiber out entirely, and you are back to flooding the liver exactly the way I described a minute ago. Fresh pineapple, a few bites after a real meal with protein and fat already in your stomach, your body can manage that. Pineapple on its own, on an empty stomach, is a sugar delivery system with a tropical accent. Number 5. Mango. People call mango the king of fruits, and they say it like it is a compliment to their health. One medium mango carries roughly 45 grams of sugar. That is more than you will find in most candy bars, and its glycemic index sits around 60. Mango does bring real vitamin C and some carotenoids, the orange pigments that are genuinely good for you, but the sugar load drowns all of it for someone managing blood glucose. So treat mango as dessert. A few thin slices, fine. Half a mango chopped into a morning bowl is a number you will watch climb on your meter. Number 4, the banana. This is the one in almost every kitchen in America, and this is where it gets interesting because the banana proves the whole point of this video. A banana is not one fixed thing. It changes by the day. A firm, green-tipped banana is full of resistant starch. That is, a starch your body cannot quickly break down, so it passes through slower and barely moves your blood sugar. But as that banana sits on the counter and the skin goes spotted and brown, the resistant starch turns into plain sugar. A heavily spotted banana can climb to a glycemic index around 62. Same banana, completely different effect 3 days apart. And here is where most people get it wrong. The same mistake they make with blueberries, which I will come back to. They grab the softest, sweetest, brownest banana, eat it by itself first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and wonder why they feel shaky and starving by 10 a.m. A green-tipped banana, half of it, eaten with a spoon of peanut butter or a boiled egg, that is a reasonable choice. A brown banana alone at 7 o'clock in the morning is a spike with a crash built into the back end. So, those are your 4. Watermelon, pineapple, mango, and the overripe banana. 4 fruits sitting in your kitchen quietly working against the exact thing you are trying to fix. Now, the 3 that work for you. Number 3, the apple. You have heard an apple a day your whole life, and it turns out that one is mostly true with one condition: the skin has to stay on. The apple's real tool is pectin. That is a soluble fiber concentrated right under the skin, and pectin forms a gel in your gut that slows sugar absorption to a crawl. The skin also carries most of the apple's polyphenols, the plant compounds tied to a steadier insulin response. Peel the apple and you have thrown the medicine in the trash and kept the sugar. Turn it into applesauce or juice, and it is worse than the peeled apple. A whole apple with the skin on lands at a glycemic index around 36, one of the gentlest numbers on this entire list. Eat it whole. Eat the skin. That is the whole instruction. Number 2, grapefruit. Grapefruit has the lowest glycemic index of anything we have talked about today, around 25. It carries a compound called naringin that is the bitter flavonoid that gives grapefruit its sharp edge, and it has been tied to improved insulin sensitivity. On paper, grapefruit is close to a perfect fruit for blood sugar. But have to stop and draw a hard line here, because this is the one fruit on the list that can genuinely hurt some of you, and it has nothing to do with sugar. Grapefruit blocks an enzyme in your gut called CYP3A4. That enzyme is what your body uses to break down a long list of common medications, including many statins for cholesterol and several blood pressure drugs. Block that enzyme with grapefruit, and the medication can build up in your blood to levels it was never meant to reach. That is not a small risk. So, if you take a statin or a blood pressure pill, do not add grapefruit to your day until you have asked your pharmacist whether yours is on that list. It takes one phone call. If you are not on those medications, grapefruit is a quiet champion. Half of one in the morning, eaten in segments so you keep the fiber, and your blood sugar barely notices. So, we are down to number 1, the blueberry, the 49-cent berry I opened with. Here is why it earns the top spot and why most people throw the benefits straight in the bin. The active compound in a blueberry is anthocyanin. That is the deep blue-purple pigment packed into the skin, and it improves the way your cells respond to insulin. A published trial found measurable gains in insulin sensitivity in about 6 weeks from blueberry compounds alone. Now here is the wrong way mistake I promised you at the very start. Most people destroy that benefit before it ever reaches their blood. They blend the blueberries into a smoothie, which shreds the fiber and floods the liver with fructose, the exact mechanism we covered earlier. They bake them into muffins loaded with flour and sugar, or they scatter a handful on top of a bowl of sweetened cereal. So whatever good the blueberry does is buried under the spike from everything around it. Do that and you cancel out most of the benefit. You are eating the bottle and pouring the medicine down the sink. The right way is almost insultingly simple. Half a cup of whole blueberries, fresh or frozen, it makes no difference to the anthocyanins, with some protein and fat to slow it all down. Whole. Not blended, not baked, not buried under cereal. Let me tell you about Doris. She was 64 when she first showed me an A1C of 8.4. For anyone who does not live by that number, A1C is your average blood sugar over about 3 months, and 8.4 is the range where your doctor starts the serious conversation about adding insulin. 90 days later, it read 6.1. Her endocrinologist genuinely asked her what she had changed, because a drop like that almost always means a new drug. She told him, one fruit. What Doris actually did was stir half a cup of whole blueberries into plain Greek yogurt every single morning. The protein and fat in the yogurt slowing everything down. No smoothie, no cereal. And she did one more thing. She stopped drinking the glass of orange juice she had had with breakfast for 40 years. Because that juice was undoing her blueberries every morning before she ever left the kitchen. A 49-cent serving of the cheapest berry in the store, eaten whole with protein, instead of a fruit juice that was, quietly raising her fasting sugar overnight. 3 months, 8.4 to 6.1. He wrote it down. So, here is exactly what to do starting tonight before this becomes one more video you watched and forgot. 1. Walk into your kitchen and find the 4. Watermelon, pineapple, mango, and any banana that has gone soft and spotted. You do not have to throw them out. You just have to move them in your own head from snack to treat. Small portions after a meal, never alone on an empty stomach. 2. Tomorrow morning, half a cup of whole blueberries, fresh or frozen, with plain Greek yogurt or a small handful of nuts. Not in a smoothie, not on cereal, whole. 3. If there is fruit juice in your refrigerator, orange, apple, any of them, pour the glass you have and make it the last one. Juice is the fastest way to undo everything else on this list. 4. Keep apples with the skin on in a bowl where you will actually see them and eat them whole. The skin is the medicine. 5. And this one is not optional. If you take a statin or a blood pressure medication, call your pharmacist before you add grapefruit. One phone call. Do not guess and never stop a medication on your own because of something you saw online, including from me. The fruit is the easy part. The drug interaction is the part that puts people in the hospital. Here is the piece that should stay with you. Doris changed 2 things that morning. She added the blueberries, and she dropped the orange juice she had taken with breakfast for 40 years. That second change mattered every bit as much as the first. The fruit you add to your morning matters far less than the thing you have been drinking every day that spikes your blood sugar before you have even sat down. That is the next video. The 3 morning drinks most people over 60 reach for every day that quietly raise fasting blood sugar, and the 2 that genuinely lower it. One of them is probably in your hand right now. If you want your number to move the way Doris's did, that is where to go next. I will see you there.